Cinematic sunrise over a lush green farm, golden light flooding the fields, glowing softly against the morning sky. A weathered farmer walks along the forest edge and stops, looking down at a large, unusual egg resting alone in the grass. The farmer picked up the large egg, held it up to the sunlight, and carefully placed it into his jacket. Inside the straw-filled chicken coop, he gently placed the mysterious egg beneath a broody hen sitting on her clutch. Days turned into nights as the hen remained on the nest until the egg finally began to crack and shake. A baby eagle emerged from the shell, dark-feathered and awkward among the tiny yellow chicks. Raised as a chicken, the young eagle tried to walk and peck like the others, clumsily copying their movements. Whenever it looked up at the blue sky, the mother hen clucked loudly, forcing it to focus back on the ground. Months passed and the eagle grew fully grown, towering over the chickens, yet he kept his massive wings folded tightly, hunching his body to blend in. Each day, he wandered clumsily through the chicken yard, copying their clucks and movements, his once sharp eyes now dull and resigned. One afternoon, a passing naturalist stopped suddenly at the farm fence, gripping it tightly while staring in shock and disbelief at an eagle living among chickens. He excitedly questioned the farmer and pointed toward the bird, but the farmer leaned calmly on his shovel, shaking his head as if nothing unusual were happening. The farmer laughed openly, gesturing toward the eagle eating corn, explaining with a smug smile that the bird had been trained as a chicken. The naturalist shook his head firmly, his expression determined, insisting the instinct to fly still slept inside the eagle and that he wanted to prove it. The farmer opened the gate, and the naturalist stepped inside, gently lifting the heavy eagle onto his arm as the bird looked confused and frightened. Raising his arm high, the naturalist turned the eagle's head toward the sky, speaking urgently, hoping to awaken something forgotten deep within its distant eyes. The eagle looked down, saw the chickens pecking corn below. Panic filled its eyes, and it jumped from the man's arm, landing clumsily on the ground. The farmer chuckled smugly while leaning back, but the naturalist, though disappointed, stayed thoughtful, watching the eagle closely and quietly planning another attempt. The next day, the naturalist carried the eagle up a ladder onto the barn roof, where the height felt significant, and the familiar farm appeared much smaller below. On the roof, the wind ruffled the eagle's feathers as it stared toward the distant horizon, sensing something unfamiliar inside, though fear still controlled it. Looking down at the barnyard below, the eagle hesitated briefly, then hopped off the roof, fluttering awkwardly onto a soft haystack instead of flying. The farmer grew annoyed and told the man to leave the bird alone, while the naturalist pleaded for one final chance to try again. Before dawn, in deep darkness, the naturalist gently placed the eagle into a crate on his truck and drove away toward distant mountains. Cinematic shots followed, the truck winding along steep mountain roads as green fields faded into rugged cliffs, mist thickened, and cold air surrounded them. At the summit, the naturalist stepped out, carrying the eagle standing at the edge of a massive cliff with clouds floating far below. Close up, the eagle trembled in terror, claws gripping the man's arm tightly as it searched desperately for the familiar barn, finding only emptiness. As the sun crested the horizon, a brilliant golden beam struck the eagle's face, making it blink as its eyes reflected a new beginning. The naturalist held the bird out over the abyss, his expression firm, speaking with authority and passion, determined to break the eagle's mental chains. The eagle shrank back against the man's chest, overwhelmed by the vast open sky, so different from the small coop it had always known. Realizing gentle persuasion had failed, the naturalist looked at the eagle with love and severity, silently preparing himself to make a drastic decision. In slow motion, the naturalist suddenly thrust his arms forward, throwing the eagle into the open air beyond the cliff, leaving it completely unsupported. The eagle plunged downward rapidly, wings flailing chaotically as it spun and tumbled, resembling a heavy stone falling without grace, control, or direction. From the eagle's perspective, the wind roared violently as jagged rocks below rushed closer, the terrifying speed making the fall feel endless and unavoidable. Close up on the eagle's eye, the pupil constricted sharply as something ancient shifted inside, instinct overpowering panic, feathers bristling along its neck. In slow motion, the eagle's massive wings snapped fully open, catching the rushing wind abruptly, stopping the deadly fall and transforming fear into motion. The eagle stabilized in the air, no longer falling but floating, staring at its own wings in disbelief as the wind supported its weight effortlessly. With a powerful stroke of its wings, the eagle propels itself upward. It climbs steeply, moving away from the rocks and towards the sun. The naturalist stands on the cliff edge, shielding his eyes from the sun. He watches the eagle rise. A tear rolls down his cheek. He smiles proudly. The eagle flies through wispy white clouds. The camera follows it, The landscape below is a patchwork of green and brown. The farm is just a tiny speck now. Montage of fading memories, the chicken coop, the corn, the wire fence. These images blur and dissolve, replaced by the crisp, clear blue sky. Close-up of the eagle's face looking fierce and noble. It screeches loudly. It realizes that flight was not a skill to learn, but a memory to unlock. Wide shot of the eagle circling gracefully near the mountain peak. It is perfectly in its element, moving with elegance and power. It owns the sky. Cut back to the farm. The chickens are still pecking at the ground, heads down. They do not look up. They are oblivious to the miracle that just happened. The farmer leaned quietly against the fence, gazing up at the sky as a tiny eagle silhouette soared, his mocking smile fading into silent contemplation. A split screen appeared, one side showing the eagle hunched in the dirt, the other revealing it soaring freely, powerfully contrasting captivity with true freedom. An abstract scene showed a lone figure trapped by shadowy walls of doubt and expectation as cracks formed and light slowly broke through from within. Visual of a golden birdcage with the door open, but the bird inside refuses to leave. The background is gray and dull, a silhouette of a hand reaching out to pull someone up from a dark pit. Light floods in from above, symbolizing hope and opportunity. A dramatic shot of a person standing on a precipice, looking out at a sunrise. They take a step forward, not falling, but rising. Close-up of a person's face, looking in a mirror. The reflection changes from sad and doubtful to confident and radiant. Montage of people achieving great things, climbing mountains, painting art, running races, inspiring and energetic visuals. A calm lake reflecting the sky. An eagle flies over it, and its reflection is perfectly clear on the water's surface. A foot stepping across a line drawn in the sand. The scenery changes from a barren desert to a lush, magical forest. A diver standing on a high diving board. They take a deep breath and jump. The motion is smooth and decisive. The eagle soaring against a backdrop of a stunning purple and orange sunset. It looks peaceful and powerful. The ultimate symbol of freedom, time-lapse of the sun rising and setting over a city. People are moving fast. The light is dynamic and hopeful. Two people shaking hands warmly, a mentor guiding a student. Visuals of support, community, and belief in others. A person walking away from a group of gossiping negative people. They walk towards a bright light, leaving the shadows behind, an hourglass with sand running out. The background is a blurry clock face, a reminder of the preciousness of time. A wide-angle shot of the night sky filled with stars. It feels infinite and magical, a sense of wonder and possibility. Abstract visual of glowing wings emerging from a human silhouette. The figure glows with inner energy and power. Scissors cutting a ribbon, but then the ribbon repairs itself and turns into light, symbolizing resilience against criticism. The face of the eagle fades into the face of a diverse group of people, symbolizing that this story applies to everyone. A person staring at a microphone or a blank canvas or a gym weight. They take a deep breath and begin their task. Glass shattering in slow motion. Behind the glass is a beautiful, vibrant landscape, breaking through barriers. A climber reaching the top of a mountain, raising their arms in victory. The view is spectacular, pure joy. A powerful final image of the eagle flying directly towards the camera, eyes intense. The background is a blazing sun. Montage of happy moments, laughter, success, love, adventure. Fast-paced and uplifting imagery. The screen slowly fades to a warm, gentle light. The mood becomes calm and reflective. Visual of a share icon glowing on a digital screen, connecting dots around a globe, spreading inspiration. A peaceful garden scene with wind chimes. The atmosphere is serene, a feeling of gratitude. The subscribe button for YouTube appears on screen with a bell icon ringing, visually inviting the viewer to join. Visual representations of thumbs up and heart icons floating up like balloons. A community of positive support. The camera pans up to the sky one last time. The clouds are moving peacefully, a promise of return. The eagle flies into a beautiful sunset. The text www.youtube.com/@danielstory-i8z fades in elegantly. The screen slowly fades to black.